I almost feel like I'm getting spoiled a little, man. It's like Christmas has come early. Here's the thing, when it comes to these top-level pro gamers, it's notoriously difficult to get replays from them, especially for the Koreans. And over the last couple of weeks, I've been able to cast lots of the best players in the world. So I'm excited to see what this game is going to bring as well. Apparently, from what I've heard, this is one of the craziest games of Zerg versus Terran that has recently been played. And now that I actually think of it, both of these guys have won a GSL Code S in 2020. So the blue Terran player here in the bottom right-hand corner of Death Aura, he won GSL Code S Season 1 in 2020, and he goes by the name of TY. And his opponent, much more recently, ended up winning the GSL Code S Season number 2 in one of the worst grand finals ever. We have none other than Rogue. Anyways, man, I'm excited for it. So generally speaking, these players, they don't really have a lot of replays of theirs floating around the internet. And my theory is still that they don't really want to bother participating in like the $100 online tournaments just because, well, it might actually leak some of their strategies and some of their tendencies, right? And I guess it's just not really worth their time. They don't really want to bother with $100 here and there because both of them obviously are very, very successful. So I just looked it up. When it comes to prize money alone, Rogue is currently, so the Zerg player here, he's currently the player with the most tournament earnings in StarCraft 2 in the last 10 years. So since the very beginning of the game. He's about $170-ish ahead of Serral, so you gotta take it with a grain of salt. I don't really know exactly how accurate these stats are, but his total earnings, according to esportsearnings.com, are currently sitting at $859,000, which is obviously only in tournament earnings. That does not include sponsorships and team salary and all that. And I can imagine if you've made like $1 million off of playing SC2, you don't really want to bother with the $100 online tournaments. I mean, it's just not worth your time. TY, obviously, no slouch himself whatsoever. He's sitting currently at the 6th place position as far as tournament earnings go at $631,000. Alrighty, so let's see what this game will bring. By the way, couldn't help but notice that Rogue also decided to send out a little drone here in the earlier stages of the game just to make sure that he was not getting proxy cheesed. I brought up recently that Serral and Raynor have been doing that a lot, and apparently Mr. Rogue right now also decided to incorporate it into his play here too. Alrighty, so let's have a look. First, a little bit of harassment, of course. This is the most classical way ever of playing this matchup. Is he gonna get a Zergling? He will. That's about the best you're gonna get, man. He might even get... Did he just... No, he only got one. Where did the third... Oh, the third Zergling is right over there. It didn't have a health bar, man. I got a little bit confused there. But no, he ended up killing one Zergling, which really is the best you can hope for right now. When the Reaper openers first became popular, it was very common to see Zerg players losing a drone. And then it became very common for Zerg players to defend the drones but lose a creep tumor. And nowadays, I guess the best you're gonna get is a Zergling and then obviously a nice scout as well to figure out roughly what it is that this Zerg player is going for. Now, what does TY see? So he's going for a very quick third command center. So he has decided to go for the third CC before putting down his starport. This is actually a third base before the Zerg has made a third base. That's not very common, but assuming he doesn't take damage here in the early game, he should be okay. And from what I can see right here as far as Rogue's build goes, I think that this is a 2-base lair. So a 2-base Spire opener, 2-base Muta. Very powerful, very potent as well, but obviously, I feel like on paper, right, since Terran players have got a little bit of experience playing against this right now. I mean, it was Serral that popularized this about a half year or so ago. I think he should be okay. So he actually just dove into the main base to see the timing there of the lair. I guess that Rogue may have anticipated this because he actually started up the lair in the natural. So this does give TY limited amounts of information, although he did see the second gas over there. So I think that about tells him everything that he really needs to know. Look at this, how confident he is, right? Not even going for a bunker over here in the front or anything along those lines. I would be a little bit worried, but he's got limited amounts of information, and I think he's dealing with it absolutely brilliantly. He sees the timing right here of the third base as well. That should give him pretty much everything that he needs. Now, there it is, by the way. The Spire coming up at about 4 minutes and 20 seconds. There's also a Baneling Nest a little bit earlier. The Baneling Nest is just here in case this is going to be a big Hellbat push, which we have seen in the past actually kill the really quick 2-base Spire openers. So some Zerg players got a little bit greedy. They decided to skip the Baneling Nest for an even faster Spire. Sometimes can work out, but this is mostly just a safety precaution. So generally speaking, what we see right now is Zerg players make about 8 or so Mutas to start up the harassment, and then they will transition from there into a quick baneling speed upgrade as well. So I don't expect the baneling speed just yet. He will probably favor a bunch of mutas here first, and then wouldn't be surprised to see that coming up a little while later. Now here we go. Hellions looking to dive deep into the mineral line. A nice control here so far though by Rogue. He does lose a couple of drones, but obviously he also grabs a few of these, a couple of the Hellions too. In the meantime, the Liberator desperately trying to get a little bit of work done. Will probably force a couple of these drones to go back, but pretty much perfect control here by the South Korean Zerg. He's got to be able to kill that bad boy, but it still kills at least a couple of those workers. Alrighty, so here we go. If we take up stock right over here of what has been lost so far, this is pretty much even. He's got to be careful though. A lot of red hit point ones. I think this may have been a little bit over-eager. Yeah, loses a couple of those bad boys right now. A couple of those Hellions. A couple of the fire trucks. But obviously, it doesn't really matter all too much as they do lose their value as this game progresses. Alrighty, so Mutalisks are coming up. Let's see how well TY is going to deal with it. He actually hits a bit of a supply block right now. So this is a big error, right? 76 out of 77. Only a couple of depots are starting up right now. So this is quite significant. He does start up missile turrets right now too. I like this actually. Rogue using the contamination there. But let's see how much damage he can do here with the Mutalisk. Couple of Marines are available, but this is really not that many, and it's because of that supply block, man. Sloppy mistake there by TY. Ends up losing all of the Marines over here. Eventually, though, he will be able to finish up the missile turret, but imagine if he didn't get supply block there, he probably would have been able to make another, like, I don't know, 10 Marines or so in the meantime. Would have made things quite a bit easier, and while I'm sure he will be able to clean this up eventually, this is where Zerg is happy, right? This is a happy Zerg we're looking at right now. He's going to be able to spread that creep. He's going to be able to get himself whatever he wants. He's going to be going for that baneling speed upgrade that I was talking about earlier. Going into the double Evo chambers right now as well. Now notice these are super late, right? So these are super late Evo chambers. If you compare it right here to the Terran player who's just about to finish up a 1-1. These are, yeah, kind of ridiculous. So this kind of forces Rogue to sit around on his Mutaling Bane style for quite some time. And TY does know it. So he has stabilized right now at home. Despite the supply block, he does manage to get himself a nice little supply advantage, which isn't all too, not all too uncommon actually in this situation. Generally speaking, this is a moment where the supply counts are relatively even. Alright, so while the Zerg player has map control, right? Terran has got a lot of great things going for him as well. This is another mistake though. TY making a couple of sloppy errors, right? So first that supply block, and right now forgetting the armory. He looks like he's a little out of this game. He's gonna play a little, or he's gonna have to play a little tighter here if he actually wants to win, because these are mistakes that you can't really make, right? So one of the big advantages that you have in these kind of scenarios as Terran is that your upgrades are way faster. So you really want to try and bank on that. Without the armory, he can't start up +2/+2, and that entire advantage right now is going to be gobbled up very quickly. I mean, he's still going to have like a half minute or maybe a minute or so of advantage, but it could have been much more than that. Now, obviously, his macro has been pretty good here, all things considered. Now, I like this little counterattack, actually buying a lot of time. Nicely done here by Rogue, forcing this Terran army right now to retreat. I was going to say, maybe he can deal some damage over at his newly acquired 4th of Rogue, because that's where he was marching. But this little move out right now with the Mutas is buying this Zerg player so much time. He snags a couple of those Medivacs as well. And once again, good control here by Rogue, who has been playing this pretty much as cleanly as he can. Now, there is in the meantime a bit of a Medivac drop inside of the main base. A couple of drones have gone down here. But once again, man, the multitasking here is pretty insane. If we have a look right now at the APM, you can see that as this game progresses, players will start ramping up when it comes to that speed as well. Now, I wonder if these Mutas are going to be sent all the way back home just to kill one Medivac. Maybe a couple of reinforcing Mutas will instead. Regardless, this right now opens up the opportunity for TY to go for that push. Now, notice here, imagine if he would have done that and he wouldn't have gotten delayed, right? He would have been 2 upgrades ahead. By the time that he actually hits, 1-1 here is going to be done for the Zerg player. 2-2 only just now started actually, but let's see how well he can defend. I really do like the siege tank spread over here. Also forcing a lot of these Zerg units off creep. The splits off creep on the Marines are very, very solid as well, but that is a hefty amount of Mutalisk up in the air, constantly killing a lot of stuff. Now, I love the addition right now of the Thor. Thors deal a lot of splash damage, plus with the Medivac, there you go. You can do some cheeky little micro, and obviously if you lose the Medivac, you can actually, oh my god, there you go. Oh, oh my god, what? All right, that was actually insane value there out of one Thor. I was gonna say, if you lose the medevac while holding the Thor, or while it is holding the Thor, you obviously lose the Thor as well. I love that little move there by TY. I mean, as fancy as it looked, didn't really pay for itself there in the big picture, but it was cool, man. Imagine if there was a second Thor, right? I would have liked to see a second Thor rather than like a 5th siege tank. Would have been kind of neat. Alright, that was cool. We don't really see a lot of Thor micro in this matchup, but I mean, for good reason, right? It's very easy to accidentally lose it. Now, let's have a look here. Is TY going to be able to secure this 4th base? Because the 4th base is really critical. I love this little move actually as well with the Zerglings. Good thing though that there's a couple of Marines over there. He needs to get a little bit of time to get the planetary fortress up. And judging right now by the direction that Rogue is running into, I think he's going to be okay. Looks like this will be an attempted Baneling run by. Where's he going to send it? Okay, I thought maybe he was going to send it straight towards this mineral line. Jimmy right over here together with Alex, just hanging around in the back of the mineral line. Apparently they're sleeping on the job. It's okay. But here's what Rogue is trying to do, right? So he knows very well that the Banelings can potentially blow up a mineral line. He's trying to distract this Terran player right now with a couple of these mutas inside of the main. Let's have a look at these Banelings. Are they going to be able to get some damage in? Looks like they might. Potentially. They could have done so much. I think he wanted to go for, yeah, 7 worker kills is not, you know, not that bad, but it's not great either. I think he wanted to go for the entire mineral line, and then he got a little bit greedy. Probably could have killed like 10 or so, but I guess 7 workers is alright. Now, obviously, Banelings, believe it or not, even though Terran players might tell you otherwise, they're not free. They're a surprisingly expensive unit. Very, very supply efficient, though, for Zerg, obviously. Anyway, so more bases are required right now on the side of the Zerg, who's now finally going up towards the Hive as well. Mutas are just simply roaming the map. Now, notice here as well how TY is forced to kind of play extremely passively, right? Come on, TY. Come on, dude. Maybe he didn't have the money for it yet? I guess so. He really needs to start up his +3. I really hope he did not make a mistake there. Okay, I thought for a second maybe he like queued it up or something along those lines. So the base defense obviously at this level is really, really good. This is where weaker Terran players would just simply crumble under the pressure of the Zerg. But it looks like so far TY is doing an excellent job. He still hasn't started up. Like +3 infantry weapons, don't get me wrong, it's far more important than the armor upgrade. But he really has been dropping the ball on some of those small macro, you know, errors, I guess is what we can call them, right? I guess they are just simply straight up mistakes. Getting himself those upgrades is so helpful because then you can go for a lethal timing attack. Now, speaking of a lethal timing attack, I mean, most of the time timing attacks seem to coincide with the upgrades finishing up. In this particular case, though, I mean, TY is maxed, right? This is a scary Terran force. He's going to be able to start roaming the map. Now, right as he moves out, it looks like the Terran is going to be under a little bit of pressure over here at the 3rd base. There's a lot of Banelings in this unit composition right now as well. Reinforcing Terran units are coming up. Good control here. At the same time, while this is happening, we do see a nice little fight over here as well. TY somehow, some way, figures out how to micro 2 of these battles at once. Amazing splits right over here, while he's also pushing back that army on the right-hand side of the map. He kills this hatchery, so that's nicely done. He is not quite able yet to land this base over here, so I would like to see a couple of Marines take care of that Overlord here very shortly. But so far, man, TY is playing an excellent game. Despite, like, the mistakes that I've pointed out, strategically and micro-wise, he's looking extremely good. Once again, bringing that Thor to the front line inside of a medevac. Obviously, a little bit risky, but it can be really good. Now, this is what Rogue was looking for. There you go. That's what he was looking for. During all the chaos of battle, he just morphed in a couple of Banelings and just rolled them into the mineral line. 17 SCVs end up going down. Beautiful move right there by the South Korean pro gamer, who plays with the Zerg pieces, because I guess South Korean pro gamer doesn't really, you know, indicate who I'm talking about. Anyhow, man. Look at this. I love always looking at the APM tab just because it seems to constantly go up as the game progresses, which is kind of neat. These storms, by the way, they don't mess around, man. They're trying to go right now after the missile turret, which I like. He gets the kill on it before it actually finishes up. Planetary Fortress, though, is gonna finish. At the same time, the Terran player is opening up the front door by destroying some of these rocks. A big Thor right here in the front to soak up some of those Baneling hits. At the same time, though, the Mutalisks are still flying around, darting from the 5th towards the 3rd, towards the natural right now as well. Just trying to see whatever he can kill. He is getting a little bit more ballsy with these bad boys, though, right? So it is getting a little bit risky. Nice control here, though, by both players, trying to make the most of it. I love the fact that TY actually left a few units behind. Thor's right now available as well. Those Javelin missiles don't really mess around. Would love to see a scan over here, too, to maybe get rid of some of that creep, because it is progressing very rapidly. But TY, he is dealing with the Mutalisks. So 27 Mutas have actually gone down in this game. That's almost as many as Banelings. Pretty crazy. Good trades here by TY, who eventually does scan, and at the very least halts the progression of the creep spread right over here. Do you think it's a good idea for a Terran player to open up these rocks? I think it might be actually pretty good. Oof. Sorry, SCV. You were gonna die anyway. It was inevitable. It was a sacrifice that had to be made. In the meantime, though, Zerg is happily progressing, right? So while the upgrade started up late, he is gonna finish up 3-3 eventually. He's got himself a couple of Ultralisk right now out as well. So the Ultra's obviously phenomenal with their Kaiser Blades. Dealing damage to those Marines especially is what they're really, really good at. If a Terran player is not quite transitioned yet towards late game tech like Liberators or Ghosts, these bad boys can be really, really powerful. Generally speaking, though, I'm not too impressed by them. Yeah, even fully like upgraded right now, it seems like they do so little. Ugh. Anyhow, here we go. Big Ling Bane run by, going to the outer base here, and this base is pretty much as good as dead. And while this is going on, TY has decided to just give it up and go in for the committed push over here. Thor's absolutely phenomenal at dealing with Mutas, but also awfully good when it comes to shooting down those Ultralisks. It looks like it will be an eye for an eye, so one planetary fortress falls. At the same time, though, I think that this hatchery is pretty much toast as well. Reinforcing Terran units are going across the map, and actually... hold up, TY, he's pushing very deep onto the creep, but he just got 2 hatcheries killed very, very rapidly. There's an awkward Ultralisk that will probably just roll to his death as well. Not quite. It's not quite out yet, but I've got a feeling that that bad boy is going to do very, very little. I've been calling everything bad boys today, guys. Don't know how often I've said it. Probably about 20 times at this point. Look, guys, Marines are bad boys, Zerglings are bad boys, Mutas are bad boys. Thors definitely are bad boys. Ultralisks? Can you be a bad boy if you're made out of paper? I'm not sure, man. Anyhow. It's quite a lot of Ultras. I'm quite surprised that Rogue is committing this hard into them, right? So, interestingly enough, TY is not even bothering making any, like, Liberators or anything along those lines. Does he have any right now? No, he's literally just going Marine Marauder, Medevac, Thor. Kind of funny. That's how little he respects the Ultralisks. Not even bothering making a unit that's actually good against it, because he's fine with the units that he's got. Now, this is actually an insane surround right now, coming up from Rogue, using the little bit of creep that he's got left over right now, and he absolutely plows that army to their deaths. At the same time, scan over here will reveal the burrow drone, so they will also end up going down. TY pushing on the left-hand side. While he lost his force on the right, he did now kill another hatchery, and this now puts the Zerg in a bit of a weird position. There's actually not that much mining anymore going on for the Zerg. There's only 4 hatcheries remaining. Actually, only 3 at this point. Ooh. TY, are you doing this? It felt like he was on the back foot here for a while, but his control has been absolutely ridiculous so far in this game. Once again, ooh, the Ultras coming in for, I guess, a pincer attack, right? Trying to create a Terran sandwich. Not quite gonna happen. Beautiful control here so far, though, by TY. But is he gonna be able to stop this onslaught? Obviously, this is only Ultras, right? There's no Lings and Banes, well, only a handful available right now. And that means that all of these clumped up Terran units, they deal so much damage. It feels like the Ultras are spending the majority of their time just running around to look at this area. Ugh. Nasty Zerg blood remains. TY survived the worst of it. Let's have a look at what the Zerg player has right now. He's desperately trying to establish new bases, but if you look at the resources that he's gathering, there's very, very little. He's only got 50 workers right now, but TY only has 39. That's crazy. Now, obviously, one advantage that TY has is that he can go ahead and drop mules. Establishing this base over here is absolutely critical. One thing I don't really like right here for Rogue, though, is that he doesn't have any creep spread in this area anymore, right? So that makes this base, or holding onto the base, very, very tricky. There's just simply one Medivac, apparently, with a couple of Widow Mines inside of it, expecting a mining Zerg hatchery, but it's actually not there, man. Alright. Scan will reveal the position right here of some of these Zerg units. This is an orbital command right now. This is the old main base. Once again, the splits off creep. Ah, TY, you're so good. Ah, that's beautiful. Does he have enough, though? Reinforcing Zerg units are coming up, but so come the Terrans. These Marauders are so good as well when it comes to dealing with the Banelings, but then at the same time also... Ooh, okay, that Widow Mine dropped from earlier. It looks like the Medevac has gone down, but the Widow Mines are still pretty nice and alive. Awesome work right there. What was it saying? All right, the Marauders are great against Ultras and then also against those Banelings. Not so good against Mutas and Zerglings, I suppose. Nice kiting back and forth once again, man. These Ultras, they are so low without the creep. They have such a hard time connecting. Oh my god. This small little hit squad of Terran units has gotten so much value. It just killed 3 additional Ultralisks. It looks like another one of those Ultras will end up going down to a few of the Widow Mines. And GG is called. Wow. TY. In an incredible game of Terran versus Zerg, he ends up obtaining the victory. Awesome. Now, real quick, before I end this video, I just wanted to let you know that I've updated my memberships right here on YouTube. So you can either join as a member by clicking the join button right next to the subscribe button below the video, or you can click the link down below in the description of the video if you are on mobile. So basically, memberships, they are a convenient way to support a creator right over here on YouTube. It's completely optional, obviously not mandatory whatsoever, but if you've been enjoying the content, it might be something that you're interested in. So for more information, click the join button down below or go to the link in the video's description. Shout out to the members that are already there. I mean, I don't think I've pointed this out in a single video yet, but there's already a bunch of you that signed up, so I really appreciate it. But anyways, for now, I want to thank you for watching. Have an awesome day. Don't forget to smile, and I'll see you once again in the next one.